Michigan Farm Bureau has for nearly 30 years been in the business of endorsing candidates. And we use a very unique system, that of involving the county farm bureaus and members and allowing them to interview, to look at candidates and make recommendations to our AgriPac committee as they consider these endorsements. This year is really unique. All of the county farm bureaus all over the state of Michigan have agreed on the candidate for governor that they wish to endorse. And you say, why is that that they have agreed? They have agreed because they have seen the opportunity to endorse a candidate who not only has reached out to agriculture, recognized agriculture, as Dan so eloquently said, but puts a value on the resources that farmers value the most, that being soil, water, air, and the things that are necessary for agriculture to recede. The candidate expressed the fact that land was recognized as a resource, particularly farmland was recognized as a resource to be capitalized on and not as a holding area for a future for a better use. As Rick Snyder reached out to our members for their support, for their input, and for their concerns that he should address as governor, he certainly made a strong bond, a strong commitment to our industry as a whole. There is no question that as this state developed, its unique climate, soils certainly allowed agriculture to set the stage for prosperity years ago. Along came the manufacturing. The manufacturing gave a jump start to agriculture because we had a good work ethic and we had the opportunity to put some more capital into agriculture. This is an industry that's poised. This is an industry that's looking for leadership that recognizes, as Rick did early on, that they react better to incentives than they do to a hammer. And so it's with a great deal of pleasure today that I announce that the Michigan Farm Bureau, with a nearly 50,000 farmer members and nearly 200,000 total members, representing approximately 500,000 votes, endorses Rick Snyder for governor and urges you to recognize the opportunity that we have and join with Michigan Farm Bureau members and elect Rick Snyder governor. Let's welcome Michigan's next governor, Rick Snyder.
Thank you, Wayne. Well, thank you, Wayne. I'm truly honored. I want to say thanks to the Farm Bureau, but more than that, it is an honor to have their endorsement. It's a wonderful thing. It's a great organization. I also want to thank Dan Wyatt for his endorsement. So thank you so much, Dan. In addition, I want to say thank you to Zeeland Farm Services for having us here today, because it's a great role model of what this industry can do. And I want to recognize their success as being the Ag Exporter of the Year this last year in terms of their successes and wonderful things they're working on. So it's really exciting to be here. Now let me talk about agriculture for a minute. As Dan mentioned, we're the second most diverse agricultural state in the nation. It's our second largest industry. And in many respects, it's an industry that hasn't gotten the attention it deserves. On the campaign trail, I've been talking about reinventing Michigan, about the need for a vision, a plan, and action to fundamentally reinvent our state. And the best part is, it's not starting from scratch. We've had trendsetters already taking that approach. And if you look at who are those trendsetters, it's been the agricultural community, by being proactive, by doing it in a quiet way, but a very successful way to say this is an industry that's been making Michigan a success for many years. And we, in fact, need to celebrate the success more and talk about it as a role model for the future. Because if you look at what we need to do, when I talk about the needs to change the regulatory environment in our state, I quite often say one of the major problems we have is that the people out of Lansing are treating our people as if they're bad and should be controlled. And we need to turn that around to a positive environment, to say the average person is a good, honest person doing great things. And we need to help them win success and go on and do great things. And the best illustration of that are the people from the Farm Bureau, the farmers, and the people here. If you think about it, who are the best stewards of our land? The people that have been on it for generations, that intend to be on it for generations. That is the role model for future success. And it's time to have the state government take a new approach. Instead of creating a penalizing environment, how do we help partner with people to have them succeed? And one of the better role models has been the Department of Agriculture in our state, by coming up with new practices, new ways to work with things, and supporting people. But one challenge we've had is we've under-resourced places like the Department of Agriculture. We've created an environment where people cannot get their crops inspected when they need them inspected. When there's other opportunities to expedite things, the resources haven't been there. So I view this as one of the prototype best cases of saying we have success going. Now, how does the state stand up and celebrate success and support success? It's a great opportunity. And how do we show that when I talk about the era of innovation and bringing new ideas and entrepreneurship, one of the very best cases is coming to a place like this, where they started with a simpler business and have continued to expand, to take new ideas, to be innovative, to be so energy efficient and forward thinking. That's the approach to Michigan's future. So I'm excited to be here because this is a team effort. And a core part of the team is this agricultural community, the Farm Bureau, the great enterprises. So let's take that energy and channel it. As Dan said, the key things we need to look at is we need to reinvent Michigan. And we need to do it in a way where we move from a negative attitude to a positive attitude. How we move from a rear view mirror attitude to a forward-looking attitude. And how we move from being divisive to inclusive. One of our strongest industries has been doing that for years. Let's learn from them. Let's grow with them. Let's succeed together. So thank you so much for your endorsements today. I'm truly honored. I'm truly honored to be at a great facility like this. Now it's time to move forward. And let's get 10 million people on board, and let's reinvent Michigan. Thank you.